Internets, what's going on? How we doing tonight? We're back again. It's the Basement Protagonist crew, and I got my two hero homeboys with me. Fresh, Will, what's going on?
What's
What's
going
happening,
on?
fam?
As always, I am your hero host for the evening. Internet's good guy Sherm, and like I said, this is the Basement Protagonist. Tonight's a very special episode. Is one of those ones we've been anticipating for a long time. I don't know if I forgot to mention it, but I'm back from Gotham City. My femur got broke last week. We got a special visit from one of our all-time heroes of all time, the Batman. As tonight we're going to get into it. So, Fresh, if you want to give the internet that intro, we'll start it off. All right, guys. So, like I said, internet's very highly anticipated movie, The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, directed by and written by Matt Reeves. At this point, by the time you're hearing it, it's probably been out for a little bit, but that doesn't make it less epic. That doesn't make it less dope. We're still here to rap a tad about it. And tonight, Will, Fresh, I don't even know who wants to kick it off, man. It was an amazing movie. Well, all right, Fresh, what you got to say about it? I say it's amazing, but that's just where we're going to start. We're going to get into it. What would you like to say?
I think it was a solid movie. I can't put the amazing on it just yet. I'll probably have to give it another watch because it was 3 hours long, so I can't give it amazing. But it didn't feel like a Batman movie per se. Like it until the stadium scene, arena scene, didn't feel like a Batman movie. It felt like a bad detective movie, like a guy that was like a step behind from everybody dying, and eventually the only reason why they caught the guy because the guy gave himself up. You know what I mean?
And
So
I was going to say, Fresh, and on that note, don't forget, internet, this is all spoilers here at the Basement Protagonist. So,
facts, yeah.
So you believe, to jump right into it, just run right to the ending. You went there. I ain't mad at it. I like it. But you believe that the Riddler didn't feel like the Riddler?
No, well, it didn't feel like a Batman movie per se. Like we have a discography of different Batmans, different plot points, different storylines, things of that nature. This is totally different from all of that. Whether it's a TV show in Gotham or Adam West, whether it was Nolan's Batman, whether it was my man, the Christmas dude that wrote the Batman for Keaton, Val Kilmer, Batfleck. None of these Batmans were similar to this one with Twilight. You know what I mean? Twilight is in a different league when it comes to Batman. It was pure detective work, and didn't feel like the whole shenanigans of a Batman movie until the ending. You know what I mean? So it was solid.
I'm going to consult our own man in Black here tonight. For those who are watching us on YouTube, shout out to Mr. Will's Not Witty over there. How do you have to say about it? I mean, I feel like you're our resident Batman expert. I think by far, since as long as I've known you, 20 years I've known you, you know, Batman's your guy. Let me hear your thoughts and opinions, man. This is where you. This wasn't Ghost Rider, and I shout out that inside joke. This wasn't Ghost Rider.
Yeah, it was. I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. I wouldn't put it up there as my number one Batman film, and he wouldn't bump Ben Affleck out of my top place as far as Batman. But it was a very enjoyable film. It felt just like this book right here, The Long Halloween. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, because we get different iterations, and we're looking at Batman through the lens of different times in his career too. You know what I'm saying? This is before all the superpowered beings, and you know, this is the beginning, you know, of his journey. So I can appreciate it. And then this is the first time we really kind of got to see his wits. But I mean, you see that he wasn't really all that witty though either. So he's got a lot of growing to do too. So it was an enjoyable film.
For 2 seconds, give a 30-second spiel, a rundown of The Long Halloween for your hero host and the rest of the internet who might not be as well versed as you are, sir.
So this movie took a couple of it really wasn't really tied into it as much as like a lot of people were speculating that it would be. But
Mhm.
basically, the Long Halloween is basically following the holiday killer. It's a guy who's going around and killing different people that's closely related to the mob on each holiday of the year. And Batman is always just a step behind and just, right there, but not in enough time to save these people's life. And it was just like this massive ongoing like detective noir story where he's trying to figure out who this person is, who this holiday killer is. They recently, I think they did a animated movie. It wasn't as good as the book, but basically that's what it was. Somebody closely related to the mob knocking people's heads off, and basically Batman trying to figure it out, and it's all tied around the holidays.
Now, see, that's why, in particular, Fresh, I would, as a movie, as a one-time movie, one-off, just hey, I want to go see a movie this evening. I would call it amazing. It has some really good elements. I do agree with you that it did feel like more like a crime caper, and a big amount of it. Yes. So the fact that Will has now pointed out the Long Halloween makes a lot of sense. I feel like in the one half it's the Long Halloween, and the other half it's No Man's Land as Gotham gets torn apart by the end of the movie. So where that leaves us, we'll get to that later. But as far as the movie itself goes, I still would label it amazing. It was probably a tick too long for me, just a tick, not nothing crazy. You know what I mean? I thought the introduction of Selena Kyle, who was I felt was equally as confused as Batman was in this movie. Because to Will's point, this is early Batman. I think this is year 2 or year 3, and Batman doesn't know what his purpose is yet. I think Batman's even getting tired of going around whooping goons' asses. You know, I do think it was some amazing scenes and moments with Matt Reeves early in the movie where you get the fear and intimidation, and then at that point, the movie felt like something else. It felt like a suspense movie, like a terror drama type of movie, but you got the feel of being a Gotham goon number 27 and thinking, man, I might get my clavicle snapped tonight if I do the wrong thing. So with that being said, I think this viewpoint of Batman was pretty dope. It was very dope. Was it perfect? No, but it was very dope. And at this point, year 3 Batman, who's a very confused Batman, and a Bruce Wayne who just does not give a damn. I thought it was a really shot in the moment, shot in time. That was really well done. It did not feel like a big budget action movie. I didn't feel like this was a movie that was geared centric to kids. There was no Taco Bell cup that was going to accompany this movie. So on that note, I thought it was dope, man. If you're talking about like a one-off crime caper, if you ever go back and read like an old DC Batman comics, a lot of those feel like crime capers. Like, remember, DC is Detective Comics. Like, this is what they do. You know what I mean? So in that sense, I had some minor gripes like Jeffrey Wright, who was amazing, walking Batman in the crime scenes and things like that. But that was minor though. But I kind of got the vibe. Really, it was like, hey, you kind of been helping me bust criminals' asses left and right. Pause. But we starting to deal with this real shit, and my guys don't really trust you. So,
it was more believable that Jeffrey Wright as a sidekick than, like, say for instance, a Robin character. Like, you don't expect a 12-year-old boy to whoop some ass, but you expect a detective to actually kick some ass. You know what I mean? The biggest bright spot was that for me was that Bruce Wayne / Batman was valuable. You know what I mean? Like, he did get hit with the blam blams a lot. You know what I mean? He got hit in his face a lot. He wasn't polished. Like it was more realism in it. I think that I can describe. Like, it's not a Batman movie per se. Because in Batman, dudes will have, AKs, shotguns, ARs, and not one bullet touch him. Even though he got all this armor plating on, not one bullet touch him. And then, he always saved the day and all that good stuff. But this Batman, he got shot a lot.
I thought
a lot of bullets touched him.
I don't know.
That was dope.
Like, be fair, yes, I get it, but I don't know how Will feels about it. But I thought it was one particular scene where a guy like unloads an automatic weapon, all up, up his upper torso, and I thought to myself like, okay, but like, hey, your face mask is hella open. One shot and it's ball game. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like you notice nobody's aiming for the face. The only time somebody aimed for the face is when he was literally, you know what I'm saying, they held the scene for a little bit. My man had the shotgun to his face, and then like, oh, okay, the way he holding it before pulling the trigger, either Catwoman or Gordon is gonna come save, and eventually they did. You know what I'm saying? But like it was. I remember.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Like the scene where he went into the penguin spot, you know what I mean? Like he first time going to the penguin spot, ready to put in some work. And like you're going against 5 people in the dark, you know what I'm saying? He was taking some shots. You know what I'm saying? He got even thrown off the what you call it. Like I really appreciate that.
No, and I do too, because I don't think there's ever been a Batman movie where I felt like, hey, me, Will, Fresh, and like 4 other goons, we could probably beat Batman ass tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the first time I've ever felt this way.
Yeah, and
that's
what was so shocking to me, because they touted this as the most perfect Batman to date, and so I was expecting his hands to be there.
Yeah,
from the way they kind of presented it, it kind of feels Gotham X. Like. I guess in that show, Alfred was the only one that trained him with the hand-to-hand shit, and I'm like, you can't really be all that dangerous when you're coming across all these people from all across the world with all these different fighting techniques, and one nigga trained you. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're really not that dangerous. A regular SEAL or somebody could come put paws on you and it's over with. You fighting regular dudes, and they like putting in mad work on you, and they not even staying down. He wasn't breaking no clavicles. I mean, he was he was busting people up, and they was like getting up and walking off. I'm like, hold on.
It was a couple guys. He took like 3 shots to put him down. I'm like, hold on, this ain't the Batman that we all know, man.
Right, wait a minute. I'm like, hold on. But one thing I will say that I really appreciate, that I'll say kind of Zack Snyder kind of touched on, is when in the opening scene with if I don't know if you remember in Batman vs Superman, when those girls had been taken and basically Batman was there to rescue those girls, and he was just like that one officer walked through there and he had the shotgun, and basically Batman is hanging on the ceiling like a demon, and then he looks up, and it was terrifying. It even shocked me, like, whoa, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? And he just starts shooting, and he was like otherworldly. He really uses that fear, and that's what he really encapsulated that in the beginning of the movie, man. In the first 5 minutes, he explained how he uses fear as a weapon. When that bat signal goes on, they look up, and then they start looking at the shadows like, shit, is this nigga coming for me? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that's the first time I really got it. Like, damn, that's powerful, because you don't know. This guy just walks out the shadows like the boogeyman. You know what I'm saying? But he was lacking in the hand-to-hand. That's the only drawback I would say that I had. I enjoyed the movie as a whole. I understand, and I've read so many different Batman books, and his skill level varies from book to book depending on the writer anyway. So it felt like a solid Batman film through and through for me, though.
See, I guess that's my only gripe. There were moments in time where I didn't feel like this was a Batman movie. I felt like this was an angry white man in a suit movie. And I don't know how the world should take that, but I felt like, this guy is off his Lexapro. He needs to go get himself together. You know what I'm saying? And he's out here with a suit, pummeling guys. Like you said, there was no speed and efficiency. I'm gonna just hit this dude 2 times. I'm gonna hit this guy another time. The whole room's cleared out. No, I'm gonna unleash some anger and I'm gonna pummel his face, 7 times because I'm angry. And I guess that was, minor griping. If we're minor griping, that was another thing I had too. His stature. He was Robert Pattinson, aka Twilight's a small guy. He looked small in that bat suit. You know what I mean? And I mean that, because again, we're talking about fear and intimidation. That's minor gripe and whatever. But yeah, the suit's crazy. But if you hop down, you're like 6'1" and 165 pounds. All right, I can get with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you might have better hands, but we gonna tussle. It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be a typical Batman fight. And shout out to anyone who's played the Batman video games, which has made me even more a fan of the character. I'm forgetting the name, but
Asylum.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum, and the way Batman fights in that game is just, I want to see that in the movie. You know what I mean? Because in the game, 30 goons come in and Batman's got to take them down. And if you do it right, you can beat all 30 of them without taking a hit. And that's the kind of Batman theatrics I want to see. Now, other than that, yeah, I think there was, like I said, half the movie felt like an angry white guy in a suit, and the other half felt like Batman. Because there were times.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what I was looking for him to use not only the shadows as a fear, as a tactic for fear, but as a way to strike, because that's part of his like ninja training and stuff. So I'm like, he shouldn't be taking as much damage, and his skill level. It's just like me trying to run up on George St. Pierre or somebody. The guy's like so far above my weight class. He got 15 ways to just break me up that I haven't even thought of.
Yeah, like this Batman felt like a rich kid that got some money and was wanting to fight crime. It didn't feel like he was a ninja. He had ninja training. No, that opening scene where, like I guess like the dudes looked like the quote unquote Joker guys with the spray paint. They was terrorizing, whatever, right? And then they was in the subway station, and he walks up to him slowly. You know what I'm saying? It was no intimidation. They're looking at this guy like, yeah, who was you? You know what I'm saying? Who was just random putties, you know what I'm saying? And like,
shout out to
he
putty.
Literally, he pop, pop. And my man's still standing there. I'm like, hold on, wait.
Yeah,
that's not my Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's supposed to be down for the count, fresh. Like,
out of there. Everybody got up and walked off. I'm like, wait a minute. This ain't right. Yeah, because his hands is supposed to be otherworldly, man. And see, that's the thing. We know that he's a man. You know what I'm saying? 7 years, 127 masters. And I'm like, all those lessons should be very fresh in his mind. And this is year 2 for him. He should be extremely lethal. The people that fight him think he is a meta-human. They think he's something else. They don't know what the fuck he is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, if I tussle with this guy and I almost got the drop on him, and I take a lick tonight, I think I can beat this guy. You know what I'm saying? With Robert Pattinson's Batman.
All I got to do is grab him.
Yeah, all I got to do is grab him and you shoot him in the face, man.
He's out of there like another crazy man in a suit. He's out of here. Now, as far as the movie goes, see, there's the thing. The movie was more or less a crime caper where Batman's, like I said, Batman is at this point in his career. He's like, man, am I just whooping enough ass? Is this working? But he stumbles upon Selena Kyle, the fantastic Zoe Kravitz, who was just bad as ever. And I honestly loved her Catwoman in this, even down to the basic mask. I was like, yo, that's perfect. Yeah, even those two gave me, like, I could deal with a Batman and Catwoman movie if it's those two, because I did get tension, the things that you're not supposed to give a damn about. But hey, Batman's, he's a straight guy out here, and she's hot as hell and out here robbing banks and things. I'm sure he's, things are gonna be hot for him. And I think the movie portrayed that well enough. I think her character was honestly one of the better parts of the whole movie. I don't know what you thought about Zoe.
Say the Dark Knight was rising, huh?
Well, it was right there.
You hit that right off the park.
Oh, shit.
A lollipop.
Yeah, she was looking like a whole snack in that movie.
Yeah, oh yeah. Now, to get in her storyline, see, there's the thing. John Turturro played her father. and I'm trying to think of what other stuff he's been in, but I never take him seriously when I see him, you know. So I didn't take it seriously. I'm just saying, man. I'm just being honest. You know, I get the movies and I'm like, I don't know, this movie just
Right.
lost
Yeah.
half a grade just because of this guy showed up. Like,
Yeah.
But no, he played the infamous Carmine Falcone, and
Yeah. Because the other guy, I think in Batman, what is it? Batman Begins with Christian Bale. Remember when he went to that bar and old boy was like, "What, you hurt because your mama and your daddy got shot?" Now that motherfucker was a good fucking actor. This guy that you talking about, Transformers, man. That's all I know him from is from Transformers, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what else he been in, but he's not operating on the caliber of acting that the other people.
No,
he wasn't a convincing gangster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Colin Farrell showed his ass. Pause. He was an amazing Penguin.
Yeah.
And like I thought Penguin would be the main villain, but usually when you're dealing with early Batman storylines, Falcone, the other gangster, and the Penguin, they are synonymous with the gangster lifestyle, the mob lifestyle.
True.
And you know, the Black Skull and all that. Like, this is like early Batman is all street level, and he's all street level gangsters. So I do appreciate that standpoint. Like, like these guys got guns. You know what I mean? There's no superpowers, no psychokinetic beams that's killing everybody. No, I got a gun, and I think I got more power than you. Or I got a blade, I got more power than you. I think the Riddler was the best villain next to the Joker and Dark Knight in all Batman movies in turn, because he was street level. He did everything on a psychotic street level thing. You know what I'm saying? He was virtually just like a serial killer that you heard stories about, like Jack the Ripper or something. You know what I mean? And in turn, the gangsters and him synonymous. It does make for like yo, man, I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen next.
Now refresh me real quick. He was mad because what?
Basically,
they was lying. They was all liars. So he was mad that they wasn't fulfilling the promises that they were going to do. So like, you know, like Wayne opened up the orphanage. He was one of the orphans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Wayne got
Thomas Wayne.
Thomas Wayne, yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas Wayne got murked. And instead of still fulfilling Thomas Wayne promises, all they did was pilfer the fund. And you saw how the damn orphanage looked. They had their own version of crackheads now. They call them what? The drop heads?
Drop heads. Yeah, that was hilarious. It's not hilarious, actually, but it was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Man, that was dark.
right.
You guys, our lives are ruined. Yeah.
But it was gritty in that. It was a very gritty movie in that sense. So that's why I believe it was good. It was solid. The reason why it was solid to me is because the length of it, they could have wrapped it up in 2 hours instead of 3. But like the Riddler was like next level type of villain. I thoroughly enjoyed him as a villain.
Yeah, he was several steps ahead of everybody, man. Even when he got caught, I'm like, damn, is the movie over with? I didn't feel like it was. I'm like, I felt like it could have ended, but I'm like, it wasn't that good nut you need. You know what I'm saying? It was just a nut. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but it could end like this, but I'm like, this ain't just like that hard nut. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like when once it carried on and you kind of start to see like all the pieces kind of falling into play, I'm like, man, dude, this is epic, man. For me, man, he eclipsed Heath Ledger's Joker, man. He killed him, dog. Man, dude, he was operating on so many levels, dude. You telling me that Heath Ledger's Joker was operating at the same mental capacity that this bastard was? This dude was like 4 steps ahead of everybody. And I mean,
See,
He was like maybe 2 steps ahead. He was about 2 steps ahead, and in the end, Batman failed. He failed that city. Think about how many people died, dude. You know what I'm saying?
I'll give you, So to be
He
fair,
failed.
He always failed because he accessory to murder. Everybody dies around Batman. He's just one man, and then you know what I'm saying. He eventually locks somebody up if you get a chance, but it's after you know what I'm saying. 200 bodies hit the ground. Shit.
a lot of people got to die before the motherfucker get caught messing with Batman. But no, to your point, Will. No, I can't say that about Joker, and we're not going to get in there. We might have to have a separate discussion about that entirely. But
no, he opened it up, man. We might as well, man.
No, because
he opened it up.
The hour in itself, we're sticking to just this movie. But you know, the Riddler to me, I didn't really feel like he was a Batman villain. So let's go back to the minor gripes I got on this movie. Right, first, I didn't like how Pattinson, aka Bruce, treated Alfred. He was fronting on Alfred a lot. And you could tell Alfred gave a lot of a damn about him, and not until the point where Alfred's in the hospital and Bruce has to go visit him, he turns and is like, "Oh, maybe you are the only person I got in this world." And even then, he was fronting on him. But
yeah, that was sucker shit.
But I only say that to say, at this point, you know, I don't think that Batman, like the Riddler, had every advantage over everyone. He was starting on step 10. I appreciated this story because it was the first time we got to see Batman, who again was going through an existential crisis of saying, should I just stop beating people asses every night, or is this stuff mattering? Now, when the Joker stuff started to hit him and he put together the clues along with the technology he had, which shout out to Matt Reeves for keeping that back technology in the movie and making sure that was played a factor. Once he started unwinding and unraveling the story that this shit is way bigger than just Carmine Falcone moving eye drop drugs or whatever it was called, and it became a Gotham story. Yeah, and Batman was like, you know what, I am needed here because I'm saving lives. At the end, when he's saving lives, it was real selfish because he saved like 3 lives and like 3,000 people just died. But he found his purpose as Batman, you know. But I do believe that I think that was kind of blasphemous, and you've kind of thrown my point off. But
man, dude, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
We will.
We'll talk about it.
But no, but Riddler, I thought, yeah, pound for pound, he equally felt insane. In fact, he felt insane up until the point when he got caught. Then I feel like you guys. I'm like, yo, what was that? Like, this is the guy, he willfully got caught, then left him this big old chunk of evidence / riddles to go help solve the bigger case. And it's like, bro, if you never told him that, he would have never known none of that, and all of South Gotham would have got flooded, and you really would have won. So I don't know.
I mean, it still did. It was too late for him. It felt like that Watchmen's when they went and confronted Vite at his little citadel and shit.
Yeah.
And he basically gave him the rundown and like, oh shit, we got to spring into action. He like, shit, you think I would have told y'all fools if y'all could do anything? This shit happened an hour ago. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love when they that far ahead, man. That's what I'm saying. It was nothing this guy could do with 7 bombs all around the city. You know what I'm saying? It's over with.
Now, I agree with you. Once he got on the video and he heard that, the fear in his own eyes became like a oh shit moment. Like, okay.
Yeah, because, you know, my man thought, remember he was like, yo, I thought you were smarter than this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I thought you already figured this out. That's why I'm telling you everything. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
And that goes back to a point that y'all was saying earlier. We so used to him being so polished and just an unstoppable force and always coming out on top. I was thoroughly expecting that him and Gordon was going to be able to stop these bombs, and I was just flabbergasted when they went off. I'm like, dude, how many hundreds of thousands of people fucking died right now, man? Yeah. They would hate Batman, dude.
They did shoot their low because you know what? It was portions of the long night. I thought it felt like multiple graphic novel storylines for Batman, and then top it off with No Man's Land. Like, you flood 40-50% of the Gotham that's just like unlivable right now. You know what I mean? Like
chaos.
But then I don't know, man, because like it does. When we talking about this, it is raising like, okay, it is kind of dope how they did portray Batman when you thinking about it. Like, say for instance, the unrealistic thing of when he got caught by the cops, right?
Mm-hmm.
He in the middle of the jail. Nobody took his mask off. They just huddled around him. Nobody took none of his weapons off of him. He just chilling there. Gordon fighting for him, whatever, right? I'm like, all right, this is the most unrealistic bullshit ever, right? And then, you know what I'm saying, he hit Gordon in the face. Then he run to the roof. And then I'm thinking he gonna do that regular Batman shit by just start swinging for buildings. He got there, he was like, "Oh shit!" Like, hold on, I'm too high up.
Yeah, like, wait a minute.
And then, you know what I'm saying, he went into that fucking raccoon type suit, started gliding, and then, you know, usual Batman, polished Batman, he would have caught the actual truck, and then he would have had a safe landing. No, man, I thought he broke like 12 bones, man, when he landed, dude.
Yeah,
like,
man.
he just started rolling. I'm like, damn, this some amazing ass armor, because this nigga should be dead right now. You know what I'm saying?
Because man, that shit almost reminded me of them dreams you had with a motherfucker was right there on your neck chasing you and shit. And then, like you said, when he got to once he got to the top of that building, and just his whole reaction, like, oh my, I don't even know how he got the courage to jump, but they was gonna kill him if he didn't. And
fact.
I mean, he jumped. That was dope. It had a lot of it did have a lot of Batman Begins undertones. It was a lot of shit that Christian Bale did that he did, and you know, that's one of the things I know. What was it? Christian Bale jumped off of a building. I think that might have been like the second movie when he went to China or Japan or something to get that guy back or whatever.
That was the second one.
And he jumped off that building or whatever, and he was gliding through the city. But this felt a little bit even more rooted, because in those movies he had Lucius Fox making his stuff, and they said it was kind of grounded in reality. But this, it felt like everything besides like the grappling hooks and stuff was stuff that actually exists in the real world. That's what made this a little bit more compelling.
So with that being said, I do appreciate the balance of Batman, his coexistence with Bruce Wayne, because at this point, Bruce is fully engrossed in his Batman shit. He don't care about Bruce. He's Batman like a 24/7 right now, and that's making Wayne company, Wayne, you know what I'm saying? It's faltering. It's starting to go down in the red, and he's losing money, which is a whole nother battle for Batman. So I wish, honestly, because there was only a brief conversation between him and Alfred about that, and he's like, "Look, bro, you still gonna have to be Bruce. You know what I'm saying? You can break as many femurs as you like, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We got to make money." And to that point, the only thing I didn't like about the Wayne Foundation was that they made Thomas Wayne seem weak to go out and seek mob help, which kind of started the whole bigger plot point of this whole movie, with Thomas Wayne and his foundation, and he got the mob involved to get things happening. Then Thomas Wayne's popped up dead, blah, blah, blah. I didn't like the Thomas Wayne slander, because I feel like Thomas Wayne's supposed to be the ultimate good guy, unless you read the events where he became Batman. Then that's different. But you know,
that's, I kind of felt like that was realistic, man. You get pressed into a corner like that, and basically something is, something that's, big of a story that he was trying to keep hidden, with his wife, this history of her mental illness and shit, and being in and out of there, and that would have destroyed his family, man. I could see somebody doing that.
Wait. Do we need the Wayne slander like that? Because now when you tell me Martha Wayne was a whack job, Batman jumping off roofs 60 stories in the air starts to make more sense, and I don't respect them as much as a Vengeance.
No, but that's something that they explored maybe 5 to 10 years ago, and that's actually canon. His mother is an Arkham. You know what I'm saying? Her family owned that, and they suffer from mental illness, and so that does kind of lean into why he does what he does, and he struggles mentally with stuff. So That's actually canon though. So
So
that's real.
all right. Well, with that being said, and if I see, I didn't know that. So shout out to you, Will, for putting me up on game, and anybody on the internet who didn't know. If that is the case, then that would explain why Batman is quote unquote Batman. At this point, I think how old is he? I think he's like 26, and his parents have been dead for a while, and the only person who's trained him. I get why he's a whack job in a suit, and his sense of justice is so strong. I get it entirely, and I think Pattinson displayed it perfectly. Now, what happens going forward, I don't know. But in this one-off movie that produced by Matt Reeves, I think he pulled it off amazingly. Guys, let me ask y'all about this. So, obviously, it was a Batman movie, so it's supposed to be like it's somewhat of almost kind of sort of like a prequel in a lot of ways, but every Batman movie is kind of a prequel in its own way. The scene on the freeway, the highway, and the Batmobile makes its debut. I feel like there's got to be one of the best scenes in movie history in the last few years. I don't know how y'all felt about it.
Batman should be in jail.
Batman should be in jail.
Yeah, man.
On the freeway, yeah. 1 million people died on the freeway for sure.
Yeah, man. He caused a fucking 5-alarm firestorm on the freeway, man. Of course, nobody survived in that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then he just walked off.
He didn't, but he driving with a jet powered car down the freeway. That he might have something to do with that.
Man.
Penguin.
Murder.
But Penguin is the one who did it, trying to get it. I mean, it could be said that any cop could have been behind the Penguin, and he could have been desperate to get away and did the same stuff and caused the same mayhem. But that scene,
his ass to jail.
That scene, man, that was probably the highlight of that damn movie, man. When they hit him with that, what they hit him with an AR-15 or something, and he went down, and then all of a sudden they look around, and he ain't there no more. Man, that machine reminded me of like Robbie Reyes's demonic Ghost Rider vehicle, man. That thing started up, man. That thing sounded otherworldly. I mean, the stuff that he could do, just punching through those metal guardrails, man, like it was nothing, man. That was the hardest scene, I think, in that movie, man.
Now, shout out to us not being in quarantine, and hopefully this COVID madness being done and over with, because that scene itself was one of the reasons you go to the movie theater. When he started that Batmobile and it started growling and started punching and he hit that jet engine, I was like, oh shit. And shout out to Michael Giacchino. I don't know, I might have butchered the hell out of that name. He did the movie score for this movie. Oh, the movie score made the movie for me. I'm a big movie score type of guy. A movie score paces the movie wonderfully. And this Batman got probably some of the most epic movie score themes I've ever heard. It was just dark, menacing. It felt menacing, like Will mentioned earlier in this episode. When you looked in the sky, you saw that bat symbol. Yeah, that music, you start fearing and trembling. So shout out to that. The movie experience itself was amazing.
Now, you know what? I do want to add 2 cents on that. Was the best Batmobile in all of Batman. Like it was realistic. It looked fantastic. Like it looked like a regular ass car. Like the other Batmobiles, I'm thinking like, yo, how is he riding on the street and nobody knows where he's going? You know what I mean? Like you can follow. Like, okay, this is Bruce Wayne. All right, like, because you know what I'm saying. Those others was just like elaborate for no reason, but like it looked like a muscle car with an overpowered engine. You know what I mean? And it looked fantastic. It sounded fantastic. I do still think he should be in jail for that freeway scene. He was an accessory to murder. At least 10 people had to get killed to capture Colin Farrell. Had to. But it was the second best scene to me. The best scene was the arena when he was taking on all the goons with the blam blams everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And taking shots, false everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But like that was top tier filmmaking on that freeway, more or less.
Yeah, no, I agree. But again, this movie it clocks in at 176 minutes. Is almost exactly 3 hours, almost. But you know, in your modern movie theater, it's definitely over a 3 hour experience. So with that being said, I mean, yeah, it was a lot of one off things in about it, especially like I mentioned earlier, Catman and Batwoman, Batman and Catwoman. I don't know what happens next because at the end of the movie, Catwoman's like, "Hey, bro, you're fucking insane. I'm out of here." And she does her thing, and Batman's like, "You're right. I am insane." And does his thing. So, what do you guys think happens in the next movie, if there is a next movie? Because there's another thing we don't know.
Joker.
No, yeah, there was the Joker tease, but is it time for Joker? I don't. You know what I mean?
No, it shouldn't be no Joker.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's especially with Joker 2 coming out. I think it's a little too soon. And then, what's his name? Joaquin Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless this is some kind of. And one thing I will say, I did appreciate, and this is where I felt like they should have went with Joker, and this is what I think they should do with the overall thing with the Joker to make him more menacing. Is the fact that people worship this dude and he has a cult following. Just finding out the fact that the Riddler wasn't operating alone. It was multiple people helping him with this scheme and stuff. He was the mastermind behind it, but then he had a lot of help, and then those guys came in. I felt like that's what they should have did with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, just kind of have him motivate somebody else to be like him. You know what I'm saying? And the second coming or the third coming of this character is even more menacing and more dangerous because he's more out of the box. You know what I'm saying? He gets it. He operates on a different level. So I'll say, but they set up, as you guys were talking earlier, that sequel is going to be crazy, man. Half the city's underwater. You got Penguin and every other lowlife fighting for control of a city that Falcone had under his thumb for 20 years. It's going to be a bloodbath, man.
Do you finally think we're going to see Black Mask in the DC? We can't even.
Well, we saw him in Birds of Prey. It was terrible.
No,
you can't get.
I didn't see that now.
You can't get that. You can't get that stink off, man. I don't think nobody wants to see Black Mask right now.
See, thank God and thank whoever that I didn't see it. I don't know if Fresh saw it, and I pray to God you didn't see it. Internet.
Yeah, I've seen Black Mask. Unfortunately,
that's so disappointing. That's one of my favorite crime boss characters, man.
Man, they did him so bad. They did him so dirty in that movie, man.
Yeah, see, that's why I didn't bother with Birds of Prey. That's why this basement hero did not bother with that one.
I'd rather see him than Joker. I'd rather see it. Keep it. I don't want to see like who you call it was psychotic. Yeah, I just don't want no more Joker plots, man. Leave Joker out of here, man. We got too many full-fledged, disgusting, terrible, psychotic, motivatedly driven villains out here to just be using the Joker, to lean on the Joker, man. Like Riddler, like all we seen of Riddler was what? Jim Carrey, his campy version of it.
Oh my
God.
God.
This guy was fucking psychotic, bro.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem with dropping so many different projects using these characters so close together. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have overlap, So 2 years from now, somebody else gonna want to use the Riddler. You know what I'm saying? I think they're gonna start to see that they have an issue with just kind of the cohesiveness of how everything flows together. Yeah, right now having a bunch of different directors and everybody doing their own takes and doing what they want with these characters is working, but you got TV versions, you got cartoon versions, you got multiple versions of these characters in movies now, and it's starting to get a little bit too compact, and you have characters that's so iconic. Who else can come in and play Harley Quinn at this point. Margot Robbie got that character on lock. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you got to be careful with just kind of watering the Kool-Aid down with just having too many. He got some iconic characters that they can, you got Killer Croc.
Yep.
They probably can use Scarecrow at this point. You got Man Bat. You can even do something crazy with what's the little dial with the dude
Toy
that's got
Man.
the mental.
Yeah,
No,
Toy
no, not Toy Man, but
Oh,
the
you talking
little
about the
gangster.
gal that was the gangster?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that you could.
The ventriloquist.
Oh,
Ventriloquist.
you got Clayface. I don't think we never seen a live version of Clayface either. But that's a little bit too out there though. That's not
So
real
right.
world.
So again, right? If you keep Batman just whooping up goons and mob guys, he never becomes Batman. At some point, you got to introduce the weird. And to be fair, Riddler wasn't as much as the weird as Batman's used to. He was more the psychotic that Batman's become known to deal with. And he's like, oh wow, like, hey bro, you were actually trying to blow up the city and was kind of successful at it. So at some point, yeah, you do got to introduce the weird. Killer Croc, the guys you mentioned. What's my man name? Firefly. He's a real dangerous dude that can, you know what I mean? I think it was Firefly. He had the jetpack.
Hell,
yeah.
But I'm just wondering, like, God forbid if he was to come across a cat like Bane or Slade. At this point, man, that dude would be dead about 3 times over, man.
So
that's like 7 years down the line.
And there's the thing, Fresh. This Batman is not, this Robert Pattinson Batman is not a League of Assassins Batman. So again, he can't encounter Slade. He can't encounter a lot of guys. He's gonna get mollywopped.
Lady Shiva would kill this guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm like, the way they kind of positioned it is that Alfred is the only one that trained, and I'm like, that's real. You painting yourself into a corner with going that route because, his mind and his physical, you touched on a point, like Robert Pattinson either didn't or couldn't pick up the weight to really physically look like how Bruce is. Bruce is supposed to be a peak human, you know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be the strongest a human can be, and probably one of the smartest cats on the planet. Probably he's a few leagues behind Lex Luthor, but he's up there. You know what I'm saying?
I thought this was a one-off though.
But it's not a one-off. They're building a universe because they got the Penguin show coming to HBO Max, so they're building a world with this. So I'm like, you got to be real careful.
They technically put that show on hold, more or less. The Penguin show for HBO Max is on hold right now. I being totally honest, so like the movie, when I saw it, it was out for like 4 or 5 days, and I went to the theater around like 6, 7 o'clock, and I went to it with my brother. And besides us two, it was probably about like 7 other people in the theater. Like, I don't know if it's drawing enough people at this point in time. Because, like, other movies that I went to around the same point, even post-COVID and during COVID, whatever, right? The theater will be packed. You know what I mean? But, like, it wasn't packed for this. So it feels more like a one-off, if not like,
it was a very niche. It was a very niche, but the movie is doing real good, man. The movie, because I went during the week, it was like a Wednesday or maybe a Thursday or something when I went. It wasn't packed. It was just a few people in there, but the energy was there, and just online, it's getting so much support. It's got some very long legs. I think it's going to make a lot of money. In the next few weeks, they already talking about it being in the billion dollar club already, man. And it's only been out for maybe a little over a week now.
Now, when it comes to commercial, I'm doing a little research here, and it looks like it's close to about $500 million at this point as far as gross goes. It costs about 185 to 200 to make, and we're looking at like a $500 million. Now, mind you, this is an early March movie, and again, this isn't a summer blockbuster. This isn't an award time movie, and this isn't one of those ones that's strictly for kids where they know they're gonna make money. It's kind of like you guys mentioned earlier. It was a Batman noir kind of project, and I think the brand of Batman itself was automatically going to mean money. So it's definitely not. It's definitely a success. It's not a bomb at all. So there more than likely will be a sequel. But there's my only thing. Will you say world building? Do I want this world built? You know what I'm saying? Do I really care?
Because I heard, because they had a police show that was supposed to be coming out with the Penguin. I heard that they iced the GCPD TV show, but they're moving forward with that. We might have to like really look at that. But as far as I know, that Penguin shit is going. They moving forward with the Penguin, but that cop show they put on ice. The movie is doing crazy ass numbers, and then it's not. They haven't dropped it. I don't think it's in China yet. You know, it's a few markets that it's not at yet. You know, it's gonna make a lot of money, and then when they drop it on HBO Max, how much money is it gonna do on HBO Max? You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna continue to do numbers. You know, I don't really go back to see movies 2 times. I don't like to really spend the bread, but I am looking forward to going and watch this movie again, and then when it drop on HBO Max. You know, I look forward to like letting my kids, you know, the ones that are old enough to watch it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Do you guys feel like you need this particular Batman world and characters based from it? Because obviously there's a Flash movie coming up soon. Now I don't know how the Flash movie is going to wrap back into it. The only way, obviously, is that whole good old fashioned time travel trope to make this all make sense. Because, you know, Flash got to be like, hey, man, I've encountered you, Batman, like 4 different ways now, and you look different, act different, spend different, have different money. Like, that's the only way to make this all make sense. So, to me, at least.
Well, see, you know, Flash is a Wanda-esque character. He's a Nexus being, essentially. You know what I'm saying? He's not just operating in time. He's operating on a multiversal frequency. This dude crosses into other realities. You know what I'm saying?
My bad.
So I'll just, you know, it just probably depended on how well that people took to this character. I don't know if I can see Robert Pattinson's Batman being in a Justice League movie. He's just too grounded and more real, and he lacked the skills to operate on a Justice League level. Man, I just don't see it. It was entertaining, but yeah, he is nowhere. He is nowhere near where he would need to be in the Justice League, man. And I don't see that he could ever be at that level.
But they need Batman money to be Justice League. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do. But he don't have, you know, as much as y'all like to shit on him, he's a menace. You know, he's the guy that the Legion of Doom, they downplay, say, okay, the League over here, Batman's over here, let's not worry about him. And then he just starts snuffing cats. And they like, hold on, wait a minute, this dude is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Robert Pattinson's Batman, I don't feel that. He didn't throw a batarang. He don't have no skill. He was just all rage. You know what I'm saying?
You think about it though, how they built the universe so far is like, with the Justice League, that's Batman 20 years deep. You know what I mean? Batfleck is 20 years deep being Batman, you know what I'm saying, breaking clavicles, you know what I'm saying? Arm bars, all that stuff.
But see, that's not something he picked up over the 20 years of fighting in Gotham. That's stuff he learned on his 7-year journey and trying to find himself. You know what I'm saying?
The question is, did he go through a 7-year journey?
That's what I'm saying. It don't look like he did because he don't have the skills. He didn't use the darkness.
I thought he went on the journey, but he just didn't pick up the skills. Because this isn't like a 22-year-old. This dude's damn near 30 if you really think about it. You know what I mean? With the context of what he was saying to Alfred and And I even appreciate the fact that he was writing in like a journal to say this was like a project. Oh, I'm gonna just dress up in this suit, whoop some ass, see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like I did appreciate that, and it's kind of evolved into something. But where is it going? I don't know. In particular, when it comes to this particular Sparkle Batman universe, the only way they could do this to make it relevant is just to keep this love story going. Like I mentioned, him and Zoe, it's got to be some kind of one-off, two-off Batman and Catwoman thing going. But do I need that? No. Oh, I watch it. Yes. How does that fit in the universe, a bigger universe? It doesn't. So that's where I'm at with this whole thing.
Well, she went to Bloodhaven. You know what I'm saying? That's like
just shout out to Bloodhaven. Finally, I think that's the first time they put that one in a movie. I think I don't know if it's the second time.
And you know, it's literally a suburb of Gotham. You know what I mean? So like, it's right there. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
I mean, that's where Nightwing. That's his stomping grounds.
But you couldn't. Yeah. You just couldn't randomly bring Nightwing in right now. So
no,
the Bloodhaven being the backdrop of a Nightwing story, that's 20 years into Batman's career, or 15 years. This particular Batman, on no levels, I see evolving into the Batman that runs the Justice League. I just don't. And they're gonna have to fix Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne doesn't know how to be Bruce Wayne. He knows how to be Batman, but he doesn't know how to be the billionaire playboy that keeps a $1 billion operation running, that keeps an entire city running. You know what I mean? The head honcho. You know, he doesn't know how to do that in this particular Batman. He's just all rage and emotion and depression and all that.
And I don't know. Maybe we'll see his skill, evolve. I mean, yeah, I thought we would see the persona of Bruce Wayne peak at the end of that movie.
Yeah,
because he is too closely tied to Batman. If you just looked at him for 2 seconds, you could figure out who he was. So I thought, but maybe, even like when you train, when you do train in martial arts, sometimes you have to meditate and be able to start to put things together later on. But I'm like, I don't see how all those dudes let him pass those tests and say, okay, you mastered this art, if he couldn't prove that he could do it then. So I'm like, this is the limit of what he can do as far as physically. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't have the physicality, and he didn't have that polished Bruce Wayne. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see him, unless they kind of shoehorn it in and then try to make us believe it in the next film. I just don't see that he couldn't operate on no Justice League level, man.
So right, and with that being said, Fresh, I honestly believe Matt Reeves is like, hey, no, I'm not trying to. If you give me the keys, I'm not trying to take the ship that far. And to be fair, that's great. But as a casual, not even a casual, but as a fan of these projects and entities, do I really want to restart another Batman that's a complete one-off series of Batman movies that's got nothing to do with the Flash movies, nothing to do with Black Adam movies, nothing to do with Peacemaker, which we all know and love? You know what I mean? Like, what are we? That at the end of the day, I call this project amazing, this one-off project amazing. But going forward, I was left with way more questions than answers, man. At the end of the day, so I don't know how you felt.
But that was I think we did a full episode talking about this, about like continuity universes when it comes to DC.
Yeah,
like it's too many Batmans. It's too many different it's all like one. It feel like one-offs. Too many James Bond type characters, too many Sean Connerys, when whatever. But I feel that this movie in its own universe itself is great at what it is, right? Solid movie, too fucking long, made humanized Batman, cool. But then you got all this other extinction level event shit that's going on in DC. I think this is in a pocket of itself. I don't. If you expand and make another Batman, you can't bring them motherfuckers in. Bring Two-Face. You know what I'm saying? Somebody with the blam blams that got a fucked up side face. You know what I mean? Make Penguin hella OP. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody else extreme street level besides Joker. You know what I mean? Don't bring in Poison Ivy unless you're gonna make her like not necessarily somebody to make plants come to life and eat motherfuckers, but like, somebody that's a killer that loves plants. That'd be cool. You know what I mean? Or Scarecrow. Make his
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think they always trying to date. So I think I read an article or saw a video somewhere where they say they kind of limit Batman by not including those otherworldly, like supernatural, metahuman type events.
Yeah.
Always trying to make it super hyper realistic. You kind of limit the character, man. And everybody is trying to lean with the DC stuff. We enjoy these movies, but always trying to go super gritty, super realistic. Oh, my character don't know none of this. They're not tied to nothing type stories. Yeah, they're fun, but we as readers of the books, we're not currently reading a lot of books right now, but a lot of dope ass stories happen where they're interacting with each other. I want to see a dope ass Batman Superman team up movie. They don't have to fight. Their heroes always beef when they first meet each other, and then they join forces. So I want to, but they didn't. I mean, they kind of did it in Batman Superman, but it was so rushed that you didn't see them together. See, what it is the thing with like a Superman, he has no respect for humans. So he look at a guy like Bruce, like, okay, this just a dude. This is no, but look, this is how the stories always go. He's just a dude in a suit. I don't get why this guy's so special. Then Soup's over on some Kakarot shit, oversimplifies and thinks somebody's beneath him, and he get his ass whooped, and then Bruce got to come save him, and he starts to see how dangerous a human being could be. You know what I'm saying? So that's where his respect, and that's where his blood and his, they're best friends. That's where that respect comes from, because I can crack the planet in two, but your mind is so dangerous that's what makes you dangerous to other humans. I'm a god. You know what I'm saying? I could kill you, but your mind is what makes you so dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And then his overall fighting ability. So, but I want to see that dynamic where it's just a smug ass Superman thinking that, looking down on people, and I want to see a fully fleshed out Batman who's, I don't want to see no old ass Batman. I want to see somebody around the same age as Clark, in his prime, that know what he's doing, throwing batarangs and dropping cats.
Yeah, now see, that's where DC, the company, dropped the ball, because we should have got a Christian Bale and what's my man name playing Superman. You know what I mean?
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, Henry Cavill. There should have been a moment like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, these are big entities. We've spent time, effort, and energy. Mind you, the original Batman series, the epic one with the Joker, that was a 3-movie series, man, and that we saw a Batman that literally could evolve from street level to leading the Justice League. Robert Pattinson's Batman, that's my
Wait a
favorite.
minute. I gotta object to that. You think that Christian Bale's Batman could lead the league? Christian Bale's Batman was terrible, dude. The dude fought crime for like two years, and then took like 3 years off, and he was a cripple. I mean, then Bane just beat the shit out of him. He is nowhere near a Justice League Batman either, though.
I only say that because he was a full, in movie form, in a full version of Batman, and I mean that via Batman on the streets whooping ass, saving the entire city, and Bruce Wayne saving the entire city. You know what I mean? However he does it. I don't see that from Pattinson at all. The only movie form that I could see that could potentially, quote unquote, lead the Justice League has been Bale, and that's more of an indictment.
Ben could lead the Justice League. The dude literally formed the Justice League, man.
I say Affleck is the best.
You said you didn't want no old Batman, so I was just going off that.
Yeah. I think that was my major gripe. Ben was too goddamn big, and he was too fucking old in that movie.
Yeah, he was more like the CEO of the Justice League, a fat cat with a cigar in his mouth, like, Flash, I need you to go here, I need you to go there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, I'm just saying, in that perfect form, it was Bale. Now, as far as the whole Batman argument goes, and we probably have to do a separate episode about it. I think Pattinson held it down. Personally, you don't like Bale. I don't know how Fresh feels about it. He's my favorite Batman, despite his terrible voice and his very obvious denture palette. And you're like, oh no, that's that one guy. I know him. That guy.
Yeah, man.
That's just minor stuff that I'm griping about.
He ain't had no hands though either though. He didn't have no hands.
It was
a lot of fans.
That was my favorite Bruce Wayne. He was my
of
favorite base for Bruce Wayne. My favorite Batman was Batfleck.
Yeah, he was all right. He didn't have the hands, and I didn't see the mind of Batman in him at all.
He had the hands. He
didn't have the hands, man. Everybody was taking it to this guy. He was just
he will take on like remember like the first one of Batman Begins when he took on he was in the Chinese labor camp and he mollywopped like 7 people. You know what I'm saying?
See,
no equipment.
The beauty and the ugliness of Batman Begins was the way Bale shot the action scenes. Nobody was really fighting. It was kind of like extreme close-up tussling. So it looked way more dramatic.
And it was always elbows. I'm like, dude, the dude fought with his elbows. All 3 movies, dude. I'm like, I see for me, man, for there to be a complete Batman, you got to have the tech, you got to have the mind, you got to have the detective skills, and you got to have the hands, man. The only one that tied all that together, plus Alfred, was Ben Affleck, man, because just the hands and just the mind that he had, the foresight to say, okay, I'm gonna place this weapon here, I'm gonna do this. You know, that's what Batman is. He's always thinking steps and steps ahead. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason I would say I wouldn't place Bale up there. I would honestly say Ben. I would say Pattinson, then Bale. You know what I'm saying? Pattinson, man, dude, Pattinson. I put Pattinson over Bale, man. I'm sorry, his acting was way better. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see nothing from Bale. And then, I just didn't see it, man. I don't see it from Bale, man. I don't see what everybody loves so much. You love the villains in those movies, then you love Bale.
Well, Heath Ledger was like the greatest villain of all time. You know what I mean?
The villains is what drew people to the movies, man, not Christian Bale. He was terrible, man. And his voice, I'm like the dude, and then the guy had the little robotic thing. Remember Alfred told him like he'll kill you, like you ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't ready for these hands, man. And he went out there, and old boy just broke his little brace or whatever, and just broke that dude back. I'm like, man, this dude is super whack, dog.
Hardy was an amazing Bane too, though. But like, you got to think like
he wasn't even enhanced though. He was just a regular strong guy.
He was the strong man, just whooping ass.
Yeah, they made it realistic.
That's a testament to Nolan. Though. That's a testament to Nolan, and his Bane was honestly at least believable. The fact where he didn't have Venom pumping him up full of bullshit, it was kind of where he's this super strong, intimidating CEO mindset type guy that's out here just, I'm gonna take over. You know what I'm saying? It's like a Killmonger type thing. I'm not even gonna beat you mentally. I'm gonna beat you physically, psychologically, emotionally. You know what I'm saying? And that's it was a little bit of what that Bane went for, but it wasn't as well executed.
Yeah, he was. They had some dope ass villains, but Batman wasn't really a standout, man. And you got the villains, man.
Twilight was the one trick pony though, man. Like you think about it, like we mentioned it multiple times. He wasn't no Bruce Wayne at all. You know what I'm saying? He was dark, he was moody, he was just Batman, you know what I mean? Like Bale was a more versatile character. You know what I mean? Even though we all can agree his Batman voice was terrible. Okay, let's get that out the way. Everything else as the aspect of Batman was cool, you know what I'm saying? The fighting scenes was cool. It was basic Jason Bourne, basic action movie for a guy that can't fight. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the Matrix where it's choreographed fights. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what he's supposed to be operating like. I mean, the dude, that's one thing I didn't like either. This is where this is why I say I liked it, Ben, because it was implied through fighting, the styles that he was able to mix up, fight on his back, fight on his feet, you could tell he had that training. Even when he whispered in old boy's ear, like, "This how you beat old boy," and then pushed him out there, and Batman and Superman, and then old boy beat old boy easy. That's just showing that his mind was there with the hands. Affleck, Bale, man, he got trained by Ra's al Ghul, and that's it. Like, no, man, I want a fully fleshed out. I traveled and learned this from this master. I went over here and learned this from this master. I trained here for a few months and picked up this skill. I trained with Wildcat as a boxer for a while. I went and rocked with Zatanna and her father. You know what I'm saying?
No Batman in the real life Batmans went through the Samurai Jack training. No one did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but now that you're essentially saying that any Joe Schmo, as long as he got a couple dollars, can put on a bat costume and be an effective hero. That's not, that's
what Batfleck said. Like, what's his superpower? Money. You know what I mean?
Well, no, he's got skill too.
Right. No,
you gotta have skill.
This is where I'm at, because Will's right. That Batfleck's such an exception to the rule. We're looking at a 30-year Batman at that point. Like, this was full-fledged OP Batman, and now he's interacting with Superman, which was weird to me and why I didn't like it. So I honestly think that's one we're gonna have to have a debate over, because at this point, this is what our fourth different version of Batman, because I think the first three, Michael Keaton's and the Val Kilmer, I think those are all pretty much the same stupid zany Batman bullshit.
Yeah, man. I don't count Michael Keaton. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I really feel like they are really heavily, they're hanging on to this nostalgia, and they think that this guy is gonna be the saving grace for that Flash film. I think that is a huge mistake to lean. They don't listen to nobody.
See?
He was terrible. Dude, you know how many people that guy killed? I watched the clip, man. Yeah, I haven't watched those movies since I was a kid. But the dude killed like everybody he fought, dude. The dude didn't even get out the Batmobile. He had 50 cal chopping people's up, and then dropped a bomb and blew up the whole warehouse. I'm like, whoa.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
No, man.
Bomb is nothing. No. But listen. We're gonna say that debate for another episode, because this was a really like I said, we've been waiting for a while for this one to talk about the Batman. So we're gonna leave it on that note as far as who's the best Bruce Wayne, because I ain't gonna lie, Mr. Will's not with it. You've been talking crazy slander. I think you have.
Yeah, man. You're putting Twilight over Bale is reckless.
It's in the cup, man. Something in this cup.
In the cup.
The cup is empty, huh?
It's empty
now. That's the only thing that make you talk crazy like that when it's empty. With that being said, though, I think we're gonna have to bring that one to the table. Best Batman, best Bruce, or together, or peak Bruce as far as movies goes, because there's a hell of an argument for Bale. There's a hell of an argument for Affleck. I don't think there's as much as one for Patton. There's definitely not one for Keaton. And personally, I think my dark horse is Val Kilmer, but that's neither here nor there.
The only thing that is disqualified from the debate is probably Clooney.
Yeah, no, that was Clooney. That wasn't Batman. That was Clooney. Okay, get it right. But yeah, man. On that note, internet, we appreciate you sticking around for this entire episode, and hope you found our opinion something that you agree with or didn't agree with, or find something we missed or didn't miss, or you just think we don't know what the hell we're talking about, or Will's on one tonight, or Fresh is crazy, or Good Guy Sherm is out of control. So with that being said, we just appreciate you listening, watching, tuning in, Spotify, Apple Music, everything, all kinds of avenues, however you find us. Please keep listening, commenting, sharing, subscribing. And with that being said, you know what I mean? This was a crazy episode. I learned a lot about tonight. I'm still blown away by the Joker comment that was made at like 30 minutes into this thing. I haven't recovered that. That my
man, please,
of all time, like that. I think that might be a whole nother episode in itself. But I'll let the end.
Yeah, Brokeback is the GOAT.
You just had to go there.
Yeah, you know, I can't just expect that. You know, like, I'm not the greatest movie comic
Scott
villain.
humbly says that in the background.
Yeah, no problems. R.I.P. to the man, no less.
Right.
R.I.P.
The man's role was so great, he died absorbing himself into it. When it comes to this comic stuff, personally, I think his Joker #1 with a bullet, no problems, and we'll go from there. But honestly, we might have to assemble a villains list. I wonder what the internet will think about it. I know who's #1 on mine. I just gave it away, so the top 10 we'll have to come up with it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So with that being said, tonight, internets, we're gonna leave it at that, man. We hope you saw the Batman and enjoyed it as much as we did. We kind of enjoyed it, but we had our gripes. Nothing's ever perfect, but we make it sound like it is here at the Basement Protagonist. So with that being said, we're gonna wrap it up tonight. I don't know if you guys had anything left to say.
No, I got it off my chest, man.
I like how that sounds. With on that note, you know, so we're gonna leave it at that. Internets, like I said, tune in, watch, subscribe, comment, and we'll leave it at that. Peace.
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 Man.